so deep. That's why he can't just let it go.
No, he can't.
Like, he can't submit to this is good
No,
because
I
he's
can't
waiting
until we get somewhere we've never been before. Until they show me something I've never seen. We are still winning a Super Bowl.
Have you ever
KG?
seen 2 playoff wins in a year?
Soon to be 3.
Oh, God.
Such an asterisk.
It was 30 years since the
bro.
NFC Championship
That's
appearance.
such an asterisk. I mean, it's great. Yes, I love it. I love it. But come on, it's Super Bowl or bust, man. Why are we excited about playoff wins? We know there's
we
a
had
promised
one in
land,
50
and that
years.
is it. You going to be happy with two playoff wins?
Not this
and
year,
a non-Super
but
Bowl?
not this year, but I was last year.
All right. Oh, I was. I mean,
Progress, not perfection.
Eh.
Progress,
It
not
was
perfection.
progress, that's for sure.
Yeah, last year was
SOL
progress. Got to get there to get to where you're going. And this Sunday night, going to be progress. Pete, what do you want to go with first? You want to talk? Let's talk about Alex Anzalone.
Sure, buddy, you got.
The practice report came out for today. Obviously, there'll be another. Yep, it's up on the screen right
4
now.
o'clock today.
4 o'clock today. We'll get another one. But the biggest thing on this, Alex Anzalone, forearm, limited in practice on Wednesday. Thursday, full practice for Alex Anzalone.
Yes, sir.
So that, listen, we'll find out today at 4 o'clock if they get the full practice again. But 2 consecutive days of full practice, you would assume
playing.
Alex Anzalone is playing.
Yep.
Exactly.
Probably the most important guy, not named Hutch, that this defense could get back when you're going up against a team that, first time you saw them, they really were only throwing the ball to Justin Jefferson. Jordan Addison has exploded over the last 2 months of this season.
Yes.
And then you get a healthy TJ Hawkinson looking for the revenge game. I know that he's had an opportunity against his team, but he's in a great situation right now, and we have really purged points to the tight end. You bring Anson in, who is our best cover linebacker. That's going to be a huge feather in our cap to try and defend TJ, because if you're scrambling to cover TJ, you're going to have problems throughout your secondary. So I think that Anzo coming back would be just the biggest blessing we could ask for in Week 18.
Well, Alex Anzalone spoke not only about coming back, but he spoke about Jack Campbell and how he's been performing, which, by the way, he's a sub for the Pro Bowl. So been performing pretty well. This is what Anzalone had to say about Jack Campbell.
How do you feel about Jack's development in his time that he was out there in your absence?
Yeah, it's good. I think that, he's done a really good job just, taking control and, being the play caller out there. And I think that, he's going to continue to grow. And, it's good to see, a young guy kind of take the reins in that regard. So, I'm proud of him.
And this is where, obviously, you hate injuries. But there's a silver lining to every dark cloud. Alex Anzalone being out was bad. Jack Campbell getting extra snaps and evolving at a faster rate than he normally would have if Anzalone was healthy is good. Now you have 2 middle linebackers that can wear the green dot, that can control the entire defense, and can perform. Getting those 2 on the field together, it's starting to feel like the Lions are trending up in a lot of ways, especially on the defensive end.
And on the health side of things, and that's really been the biggest bugaboo for this team, is can they make it through this period where they've had so many guys on the defensive side of the ball out? And as you mentioned, Stick, great teams. We've talked about this a lot over the last few weeks. Great teams go through times like this where other guys step up and grow. And then if you're fortunate enough, like the Lions look to be right now, you enter the playoffs getting healthier, mostly healthy, but now you've got all these guys that you were thinking were just depth pieces that are now major contributors, where across any position room, you've got faith in not just your starters, not just your first guy off the bench, but the entire room. We are very, very fortunate that the only reason we had to talk to Doc yesterday was over the Pistons. This is a healthy, trending team right now. This kind of a win in the biggest regular season NFL game ever, you take that and you take that emotional victory and you get a whole week off, and guess what? You only get healthier.
Alex Anzalone also spoke about being at practice, and this is what he had to say.
No, that was Dan Campbell.
Dan Campbell speaking.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I
It was
misread
the
that.
steely blue eyes threw him off.
He'll be out there running around today, so we'll see how he does. It's really going to be how he tomorrow's going to be, I think, a really big day for us to see where he's at.
man. I never thought I would say I'm looking forward to Alex Anzalone coming to play for the Detroit Lions. Like, when he first got here, I was like, my God, this could not be the guy of the future.
Right.
But
You
you got to give a lot of credit to the coaching staff, too.
Yeah.
And for him for taking the coaching. The player he is now is not the player we got 2 or 3 years ago when he
Absolutely not.
showed up. Like I said, I never thought I'd be excited to get Alex Anzalone back.
Yeah, it seemed like just a yawn signing, a depth move at linebacker. But player development, we've said these 2 words coupled with this regime so many times, and they just continue to get the most out of everybody. Isaiah Buggs, you're out of here. But otherwise, I mean, if the guy is willing to be coached, like you mentioned, Stick, the guy's willing to absorb the culture that they have going on here, these guys are finding players through the draft and through free agency that are ready to thrive in this culture. And that's all we've seen is player after player, whether they're big name or a smaller name, is just improve their stock and improve this team overall.
And that's what I love about this coaching staff. They will always find something to play for.
Yeah.
Always.
Yes.
Last week, Anson, you felt it more than I did. It was about revenge. It was about that get-back game. And you saw it with Amon-Ra St. Brown's BTA celebration. Like, this week, it's about doing something that has never been done in the franchise history. And I know Dan Campbell and the rest of the guys in that locker room are aware of that fact.
Bite that apple?
Yes, bite that apple.
Okay, that's what I thought. So, for a fan base that has been desperately trying to skip to the playoffs, we've talked earlier during the break and everything about how, I can't wait for the football season to get here, and then it's week 5, and now it's week 18.
Yeah.
Thank God this is a playoff game, because last week you kind of upset the chat. They're like, who is this Stick? Everybody wanted to fast forward to this game.
Yeah, because I didn't care about that game.
I know, but listen.
Nothing good could have came out of that game last week.
The whole NFL world cares about this game.
Yes.
And is it a blessing? Is it scary? I know that it's
Pressure is a
exciting,
privilege.
But listen, we're getting an extra week of the playoffs, whether we get the number 1 seed or not. This is a playoff game. And hey, Lions fans, you guys, I've been telling you guys, stop and enjoy and smell those Honolulu blue roses. Otherwise, we're going to be right there where everything could end overnight. But we've got that this week. We've got that this Sunday. I've heard so many plans from people that are getting together with their families, that are coming to see us at Hayes Social. Like, this is it. This is what we've all been waiting for. I know we all want to get back to the NFC Championship game, and we're all, chomping at the bit to get to New Orleans for the Super Bowl. But hey, no more taking weeks off, Lions fan, because this is do or die.
Mm-hmm.
It is and it isn't this week. I mean, look, I get everybody wants to play this up as a playoff game. It's for playoff seeding. It's not a playoff game.
It doesn't end your life. I get that. I get
that's-
that. Do you
that's
want to
where
go on the road to Tampa Bay?
Yeah, I
Sure.
don't care.
I know you don't care. I know you don't care. But
Then
that's not what we
don't
want.
set me up to pissing you off. The team's undefeated on the road. They'll be fine on the road. I'm not afraid of anybody on the road anywhere, and I'm not afraid of anybody at home either, which obviously, to me, it's more about the bye week than being home or on the road.
100%.
It's nothing like home and road, whatever.
Tampa Bay's a revenge game anyway. I like that.
Like I said, none of that really matters to me. The bye week is what's important for me. The ability to get healthy, the ability to just sit back on Sunday or Saturday and watch your next opponent play as a team, scouting together. Like, there's such an advantage to having that week off. But I know people are excited for this game. If the Lions lose this game, I am just as confident in their ability to win a Super Bowl as if they win the game.
Okay, but you can acknowledge that the odds of them winning a Super Bowl go down by not having home field advantage.
Technically,
And I
yeah.
know that your confidence is sky high.
I think it's similar.
Nobody has ever accused
There's
you
only
of
5
being
teams that have done it.
a
We know.
halfway fan. You're all in all the time. Fact of the matter is the Vegas odds go down if we lose this game. That's true, right?
We'll see. We'll see, because if the Lions lose this game, you think they're going to be the underdog in week 1 on the road?
Well, no, I'm not saying that they're underdog, but they're certainly not the overwhelming favorite that they would be at home in week 2 of the playoffs against anybody.
Yeah, I just feel like even if they lose this game, they're going to be favored with no matter who they play in the playoffs, unless it's the Eagles. Really, in the NFC.
Their Super Bowl odds would go down, but week to week, I think they would be favored against most teams. We've beaten most of the teams.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
In the playoffs.
So that's why, I'm excited for this game. This is, like you said, the biggest regular season game of all time. But the season doesn't end if they lose. And I want to make sure I'm making that clear to fans, because you know damn well if the scoreboard says 0-0-0-0 on the clock and the Lions don't have as many points as the Vikings.
Is our season over?
It's going to be, oh my God.
Is our season over, guys?
Oh my God, they can't do it. Like,
Fire
it's gonna
everybody.
Yeah, it's going to be such an overreaction and so dramatic. And the people that have been hiding in the bushes are going to come out and be like, see, I told you so. They couldn't overcome the injuries. And it's like, let it play out still. Don't get too excited about what happens this Sunday. If they win, it doesn't mean they win the Super Bowl. If they lose, it doesn't mean they've lost the Super Bowl. So I want people to understand, big game, but it's for positioning, not playoff life.
So I kind of want to explore what you brought up there. There's no way in round 2 that we would play Philly, correct? They're locked into the 2 seed.
They're locked in the 2 seed.
Okay, so
Philly's
we're not
locked
playing
in.
them, but I guess the matchup that a lot of people would love to talk about is that Tampa Bay matchup, a team that came here to Detroit and beat us. KG, where do you think the line would sit for that game?
Oh, I think the Lions would still be favored. Maybe it's a 4-point spread, if anything. But, I mean, they caught the Lions in week 2 of the NFL season, where clearly the kinks weren't all the way worked out on this offense. If you look where we're at now, we're one of, if not the top offense in the league. So, if you look back at that game, the Lions won in pretty much every statistical category. They misplayed a lot of things in that game, and they end up losing. So I'm not fearful of Baker Mayfield if we have to go to Tampa Bay and go take that one on the road. I'm not fearful at all.
One caveat to your question, real quick. Just be careful how you word that, because Vegas is very upset at the Lions right now.
Yeah.
So my whole point to you is what you're considering possibly, or what even Kenny G or what you guys are discussing is possibly a 2.5 point or a 3 point, like Lions would be favored. Vegas would make them minus 3.5 because they're going to want you to play that hook, because they're ticked at the Lions right now for costing them money. So I'm just adding that into the game you're playing there, Anson.
I don't think it's a scenario that we're going to have to be looking at on Monday.
I agree.
So it's certainly one that I hope we're not looking at on Monday. But
just looking at the sheer numbers of what happens in the NFL, I'm just trying to catch up on some statistics here. 50% of the time, the number 1 seed is going to make the Super Bowl. That's correct. That's 50% of the time. But that means 50% of the time, the number 1 seed doesn't. So even if you have the number 1 seed, it's a coin flip.
How many times has the 5th seed made it? I think it's 5
It's
or less.
only been 5 teams to do it.
I get that, but wouldn't this year kind of be an exception to what the 5th seed really is? I mean, you're going to have a 14-win team in the 5th seed. So we can use that to gauge it, but this is an anomaly of a year, and I don't know of any team that would have that type of win-loss discrepancy at the 5th seed.
No, it doesn't happen.
So this is the first time we're ever going to experience a 14-win team at the 5th seed.
That's correct.
And this is my arguments for both Vikings and Lions in this. So that's why you got to judge this a little bit different than you would normal years with the seeding.
Vikings spread in Tampa Bay.
Ooh.
To me, that's an even matchup.
That's a great question. I think Vegas is going to make a 1 point either way.
Yeah,
that's 1 point.
To me, that's
either
an even
way.
game.
They can't pick them for the sake, but that's a 1 point either way. Good. That's a good one, Anson.
My money's on Tampa Bay in that game. I got to say, listen, whoever loses this game could be in some real trouble, because this is a Sunday night game, and you're getting, record-wise, one of the 2-3 best teams in the NFC. And these two teams hate each other.
Yes.
So they're going to be realistically, this should be a blow-for-blow contest where it's real close. You're playing everybody until the end. Mm-hmm. And now whoever loses this game has to take on that emotional loss and then get on the road and go to Tampa Bay and have to beat a team that can put up 40 in their sleep.
Yeah.
So I'm not envying any team that loses this matchup Sunday night.
Yeah, When I think about this Lions team, and I think they don't lose back-to-back games, if they lose a game, you think this of all teams, a loss could propel this team to a Super Bowl. Because now all of a sudden they're pissed off for the next 4 games.
Especially a team that's undefeated on the road this year. I've never
That's why
seen
this
that
is
in the
so
Lions.
weird to view, right? Because there's so many weird anomalies. And since the playoff field expanded to 7 teams, 4 of the 8 number 1 seeds at least made it to the Super Bowl. There's your 50% since they went to 7 teams. But only the 2022 Chiefs are the top number 1 seed to win it all. So only the Chiefs, only a number 1 seed has won it once.
True number 1 seed
Since they
across
switched to
NFL.
the
That's interesting.
So do you want the number 1 seed? Oh my God! It's
Yeah.
telling
Oh my
me I
God,
don't
no!
want to be
No!
number 1.
I still want it.
How many years has
That's
it been?
why I'm saying, calm down.
How many years has it
Exactly.
been 7 teams?
I want to say 4, 5,
No, I think it's been 3.
3.
Yeah,
Well, since
it's
2022
only
at least.
2022 at least. Yeah, it's like
So
I
if
said,
it's
3.
if it's 8 number 1 seeds, that's 4 years.
Yep. Okay, that's good.
So
Yep.
that's 4 years. The math checks out.
By the way, I can answer Kenny G's question through our Caesar Sportsbook app real quick here, guys. You're looking at the futures there, Kenny G.
Yeah.
Let's real quick. I can give you guys if the Lions lose the game. So the Lions are currently at plus 450, and the Minnesota Vikings are at plus 800. This is to win the Super Bowl, $50 million overall.